Here are 7 Caribbean-inspired recipes for Passover Feast of Unleavened Bread. As Jamaicans, we keep the feast to our Yeshua Jesus Christ each and every year, the beginning of the new year that He commanded that we feast for what He had done. He laid down His life on the cross so we could be forgiven of our sins, and we celebrate Him as being our Passover lamb. So first, here we have the rack of lamb. Season it very well with a whole bunch of mixed herbs. Make sure your meat is washed clean and season them thoroughly. Just like so. Rub it in. Make sure you get both sides. And then you want to let it marinate for at least, overnight. Look at that lamb, so beautiful. All those flavored herbs, all those bitter herbs to remember what He had done for us. Season thoroughly, all sides. Yeah. Then you're gonna get a cast iron pot, garlic, rosemary, thyme. Make sure you give it a nice browning. Get your pepper in there if you like heat. And we're gonna sear. Delicious. So then you want to flip it over and get the other side. Look at that. If you just smell the aromas right now in this kitchen. Just let it brown about a minute or so. You just want to take it out. Make sure it looks nice and charred on both sides, depending on how much you like to char your meat. I like to do the sides as well, just to get a full, thorough locking in the seasonings everywhere I've seasoned the lamb. Take it out, put it in the oven. Now it's time to make our red label wine reduction sauce. I take the same herbs that I had in the lamb, pour some red wine in there. If you can use any wine you want. Look at the lamb. Ready. Sizzling. Just gonna give it a slice here just to show you. Cooked to perfection. Delicious. You slice it up, each piece. However you want. You can leave it whole. If you want to slice it up, you slice it up. And you pour that red label wine reduction on there. Again, you can use your own, any wine you like, your favorite wine, make your own reduction sauce. Next, we got the chuck roast. We're going to do similar to what we did to the rack of lamb. We're going to cut off the neck first, of course. Going to make some little slits in there as well. But this time, we're going to use a little jerk seasoning in this one with the herbs. Because, I'm a fan of jerk. That's why we Jerk Tavern, Just to do the same thing, mix your seasonings. Sprinkle it all over. Make sure you rub it in. All sides, everywhere. You want it fully, thoroughly seasoned. Get some in the slits that you make as well. Rub it in. Slice up some garlic here. And you know what we're going to do with it as well. We're going to put them in the slits as well. We got some cloves. So we're going to place the cloves and the garlics all over the roast. So quick story while we continue to season this and get it searing. After reading the word and understanding the truth that God has His own holidays, or holy days as He calls them in the word, where He wants us to feast in His name. He wants us to enjoy food and get merry and drink wine. So out of love for Him, just decided to start keeping His holy days instead of the holiday days in the world. So this is why we started celebrating Passover. So next, we're just going to cover it up after we sear it, put it in the oven, and look at that. Beautiful. I'm going to give it a cut just to make sure it's thoroughly cooked on the inside. We don't want any bloody meat. We like our food well done. So does the Father. He wants His food burnt, roasted in fire. So we want to do the same thing. All these recipes here just made with love for the Father, because we love Him. So next, you just want to drizzle some of that gravy on there. Get it real moist. Get all the flavors in the bottom of the pan on it. Just let it sit and rest and just marinate in all that goodness. Look how gorgeous that looks. Pretty. Next, we got our lamb breastplate. We got this at Aldi. If your Aldi got it, you can grab it too. So we're gonna do similarly again. Get a bowl and put all your favorite seasonings in this one. So this one we used our own like red seasoning with the jerk just to give it a nice little paprika, cayenne, smoked flavor with a little bit of jerk. We're gonna rub it all over same way. All over both sides just to make sure it marinates well. But this one we're not gonna sear, we're just gonna put it in the pan and just let it roast. Goodness. Alright, cover it up, put it in the oven. Couple hours later, sizzling, laying there, and all that fat and juice and goodness. Now we gotta make a sauce for this one. So we're gonna get some ketchup, some mushroom sauce, sugar, add a little water, mix it up, put it on the stove on low heat. Just let it go ahead and thicken. Keep giving it a stir. Add some of the seasoning that you put in the lamb as well, just to give it more flavor, kind of like making your own barbecue sauce. So you just want to drizzle it over and just let it sit and marinate in all of that goodness. Look how pretty and beautiful this lamb is. My goodness. Just gonna give it a slice again just to make sure it's cooked after you let it rest. This one had bones, so I had to use the chopper to chop through it. But look at it. Oof, delicious. I'm telling you, Father, gotta love the Father to prepare food like this for him. I'm telling you, man. I just love him so much, and I'm just thankful that I have something exciting to look forward to as the years go on. Next, we gotta do oxtail for the Father. That's just like my favorite meat of all time. I've been in love with oxtail ever since I was a child. Just the way how when you cook it, it falls off the bone. But I could never find a perfect recipe that was right for me, so I made my own recipe for oxtail. I've been experimenting with oxtail for years now, and I finally found something that I love. So you season up your oxtail, you're gonna brown it on both sides. So all the fresh herbs and everything we added in there for extra flavor. Let the thing go ahead and brown and get all your flavors in there. Then we're just gonna put it in the crock pot and just slow cook this, for hours till the meat is falling off the bone. You're gonna add in all your leftover seasonings. Add water till it barely covers it. Add in some ketchup, sugar, all those wonderful seasonings that you love. Whatever your favorite seasonings are, you can add it to this as well. I gotta throw the scotch in there because I'm a fan of the heat. Just check it periodically, thoroughly. Keep seasoning as it goes on. We're gonna add in our butter beans here because it's almost cooked. Just let that sit and just soak. Just cook until it's falling right off the bone. After this, we got the beef ribs. We're gonna do something similar as well. Dry rub here. All my favorite seasonings again. Gotta have the jerk in there. We jerk tavern. Got some nutmeg in this one. Some cinnamon as well for added flavor. Then we gonna make our own little sauce rub for it. So that way when you season it, all the seasonings stick. You just want to rub it in nice, pat it in, and just let it sit again for about an hour or so or overnight. Just rub it in all over both sides, everywhere. Both racks. Look at that. Season to the bone. Just let it rest. We're gonna do the same thing again. Put this to bake. Another quick story. After reading the word as well, you find out there's a difference between unclean foods and clean foods for the Father. So he don't want no animals that pretty much are the garbage disposals of the earth to be eaten. Their job is to clean the earth. We should be eating things that clean the earth. We should be eating these animals that eat the grass and all the nutrients that come from the soil. So we're gonna take our sauce as well, make our own barbecue sauce, just like the last one. Just dab it up, let it sit. Look at that, beautiful. All these dishes we eat with unleavened bread, every last one of them. After that, we gotta throw curry goat in there as Jamaicans. Goat is one of the most tenderest meats when it's cooked right. So want to cut it up small into cubes so it cooks faster, because goat can take a while. Put it in the bowl. Make sure you wash it thoroughly. Get out all the rawness. Put your vinegar, your water, your lime, everything. And let it sit and soak. And after that, you know we got to get into the good curry seasoning. Another one of my favorite seasonings. We got green seasoning in there as well. Just pretty much all the greens and herbs blended up instead of cut up. Season it heavily with the curry because goat, you got to boil it for hours or an hour or so, depending on how much you have, of course. Rub it in nicely. Look at that. Seasoning well. Absolutely. Goat, when I tell you, when you cook goat, the aromas of the goat in the pot smell up the whole house, especially when you got the browning and the curry with the garlic and the pimento in there. Then you just sear in the goat and all that curry flavor. One of the best dishes I have eaten, apart from oxtail, of course. Just let it steam there. It's gonna brown it, stir it so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. And you know we gotta cut up extra seasonings after you add in the goat. So you start to spring its own water there. Add in the seasoning. It's gonna fill up with a little bit more water till it barely covers it as well. Just lock the lid and let it cook. Add in water gradually as it cooks over time. You know, you just want to check it every 20 minutes to a half hour just to make sure it's not sticking, make sure it's not burning, make sure it has enough water because you're stewing it. Of course, we got to add the starch to it. We love potatoes. We love carrots. Everything in the goat. You got to have these vegetables in your goat when you're stewing it down. The sweetness of the carrot, the starch from the potatoes makes it a wholesome, hearty dish. I recommend it. Another quick story, you know, after being waking up to the truth, to the Father, just all the spiritual understandings, everything, I recommend it right now. If you haven't given your life to Jesus, give your life to Christ. It's the best decision you could ever make. The blessings that come with following him. The joy you feel, the peace that you have, the love that you feel from him, just knowing that he's always there for you to call on his name each and every day if you live in this world. But this world is rough. It's a rough world we live in. Wickedness is everywhere on every side. You know, right now in this world, we got a whole bunch of things going on each and every day. It's like there's other evils and wickednesses going on. All the innocent children that are dying, innocent people dying in plane crashes, you know, the wars going on in this world. You just need peace. You need a sound mind. You need love. You need someone you can count on where thousands may fall at your right side, but it won't come near your dwelling. You know, you need Jesus to call on his name, and he's always there. He'll heal you. He'll deliver you. He'll save you. All you gotta do is just trust him. Just worship him. Honor him. Love him. That's why we do this for him, because he died for us. Look at that goat. My goodness. If you smell this kitchen right now, I'm telling you. Check it. Make sure it's tender. Pork go through it, you know it's cooked. We're just going to add a little bit more water, because right there wasn't tender enough to the way how I liked it. Just let it go ahead and sit and cook down a little bit more, you know, turn the heat down to medium. Keep checking it until it's to your right desired texture. Look at that. Soft. Pork went right through it that time. Look at the color of the curry. Everything's nice. So now that we know our goat's pretty much cooked, we're going to add in all those vegetables that we cut up before. Stir that up and let the potatoes and the carrots cook. You know, they don't take much to cook. Just a couple minutes. You know, you can check it every 5-10 minutes. It's just when it's soft. Then we got to add that magic secret ingredient right here to ram it up. This right here really is, as it says, it's a curry goat booster. It adds the flavor of the ram goat head to the pot, so it tastes like you're eating a fresh killed ram goat. The flavors, the aromas, everything we add to this curry goat here, out of love for the Father, just want to make sure the thing's set right for him come feast with me. So now we're gonna skim off the excess oil on the top because you know the goat got the fat in there, but we don't want the oily goat in our plates. We just want gravy. See all that extra fat in there? Yeah, this we discard. So now look at the gravy. It's nice and thick. Potatoes cooked, soft. Everything in this pot looks amazing. When I say it was delicious, man, with the unleavened bread dipped in this gravy, woof, man. So after this now, we got another sirloin roast in the slow cooker. Nice and tender. This thing been going for hours. 2 forks splitting it apart to show you how soft and nice it is. So as always, wash your meat. Get the herbs. You know I gotta show the jerk. Wet jerk and dry jerk in here. A little bit of powdered seasoning, onion, garlic, black pepper, so on. Rub it in nicely. Of course, now we gotta get the fresh herbs, scallion, onion, garlic, the usual things that we Jamaicans love to use. All these wonderful flavors. These flavors here, onion, garlic, scallion, thyme, ginger, you can't go wrong with them. And never go wrong. These things flavor boost the pot. So this one we're gonna sear in some oil. Make sure your pot's well hot. That way it sears it in. Beautiful. You gotta flip over. Do the next side, of course. And then we're gonna put this in the crock pot. All that extra seasoning in the bottom of the pot, we're just gonna brown our seasonings in them as well, just to get that extra flavor out the pot onto the seasonings. So add our red label wine to it. You can add your own wine, your favorite wine, anyone you like. Give it a nice seasoning as well. Every level gotta have seasoning. Every single level. Because when you eat the dish, you taste everything. First thing you add, last thing you taste, last thing you add, first thing you're gonna taste. I'm telling you. Delicious. Can't go wrong. Pour all of that reduction sauce in there. Gotta get the potatoes and the carrots just like the goat. The carrots add the sweetness, potatoes add that nice starch. Cut it up how you like, your size potato. Whatever you feel, you know. Just do it to the best of your ability. All these dishes, you know, they require a little time. They require a little work. When you're doing it for the Father, you know, it's just out of love. Like the Levites, they prepared his meals. They did all the sacrificing in front of him. Gave him his food. We're just going to put the meat on top of the veg. That way, the potatoes and the carrots, we know, will boil and be cooked. The meat itself, it will, because it's going to be steaming. I'm going to add the thyme leaves all over the pot just to get the herb flavor in there with some pimentos. Give it a cover. Just let it sit and roast. Beautiful. We're just going to add a little ketchup in there for extra added flavor and to make the gravy a little bit thicker. Just going to give it another seasoning here because, you know, it has to go for hours to get it real nice and tender. So we hope you enjoyed all 7 of these recipes. The link for these recipes will be in the description below. We also will have an extra 7 recipes on our website, jerktavern.com. So you'll have 14 recipes to choose from for your Passover unleavened bread feast. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what are some of your favorite Passover recipes.